All right, so this friend here is Arco, and Arco is a Brazilian rainbow boa. I like to think of Brazilian rainbow boas as kind of the supermodels of snakes. They are very, very beautiful snakes. They're known for this kind of crazy coloration. They are what I would consider a medium-sized snake. So Arco is what we consider an adult-sized snake. I'm going to put her on here so we can see how she moves about. But she is an adult-sized snake. They will get to about 6 feet in length. Typically, females are a little bit larger than males because they have to carry their babies. But they are more of what we can consider a medium-sized snake. Sometimes when people hear the word boa, they might think of something that's huge, like one of those 12 to 15-foot snakes. But this is about, I would say, about the size of the majority of the larger boa species. A lot of the really, really gigantic snakes are types of pythons, and they both are constrictors. So you don't have to worry about any venom with these animals. I'm not brave enough to bring out a venomous animal for sure. These are constrictors, so they are huggers, not kissers. They squeeze their food to get it ready for them to eat. All boas and pythons are that way. And if you're ever curious about what the difference is between a python and a boa, pythons are considered old world. So they are found in places like Asia and Africa, and most boas are New World. So they're from the Americas. Most of them are from South America because it's not super warm up here in North America for snakes to live outside, or snakes of size to live outside year round. Most of our snakes that are native to this area, things like rat snakes, they tend to slow down their body processes and take a big relaxation time in the wintertime when it gets cold here, whereas these guys are active all year round. This species of snake, believe it or not, can blend into their habitats. So you guys probably see her right now. She's bright orange and yellow. She doesn't look like she can blend in with anything at all, but she definitely can. These Brazilian rainbows are native to the Amazon River basin. So if you know anything about the Amazon River basin, it's surrounded by the Amazon, which is a beautiful, colorful, vibrant area of the world, full of different types of exotic and tropical plants and flowers and all kinds of really bright colored things, which allows animals like Arco to kind of blend in. Now they're known. She doesn't look rainbow right now. She looks orangish yellow, but that's because it's not very bright outside. In the bright sunlight, the scales on her body are actually so smooth that they refract sunlight, which causes an iridescent rainbow-like pattern. So it's almost like if you've ever seen like an oil spill or anything like that, that bright, shiny rainbow appearance is what these guys give off. So their body themselves is not rainbow. It's just the way that the light reflects off their scales. One of my favorite things about these snakes is this pattern right here, which is the false eyes. You might be familiar with that pattern, especially some of our animals like butterflies. We have a train coming through. Sorry if you hear that. So a lot of animals like butterflies have these false eyes. And what that does is that gives the impression to a predator that there might be a lot of animals kind of all lined up. So what hopefully in Arco's case, she's hoping that by if a big predator like a big bird of prey were to see all those false eyes, they might get scared away thinking that there's a huge group of animals that are trying to fight back on the predators, so they won't eat her. Here at the zoo, we offer the adult snakes food about once every 2 weeks. A lot of times they take it. Sometimes they're not hungry and they don't take it, but that helps make sure that Arco is always well fed and that she's not out here hunting for different types of snacks that might share this space. Our rainbow boas do spend some of their time soaking in big water bowls, and they're just having a good time while they're doing that. I think she's got a good smell going. I don't know if you can see that chat on the here, but she's flicking her tongue very wildly right now. Snakes use their tongue to detect everything. It's their most efficient way of sensing the world. So what she's doing is she's detecting all the smells and temperature and everything else that's going on in this area. And the cool thing about this space is we have shared this. This space is shared with other types of animals, so there's lots of really good smells out here. Plus, it's out here all the time, so we might have things like squirrels and raccoons and opossums that visit this area when we're not out here. So she's sensing all of that and trying to figure out who all is here. So she's got her tongue flipping around. What she's doing is she's taking in all of those kind of hints and clues that are out here, all those smells and taste and all things like that, and she's sending them into her Jacobson's organ, which is a specialized organ at the roof of her mouth. Now, we don't have rainbow boas around here, but we do have quite a few native snake species. My lives around here is the rat snake. And for snakes across the world, whether they're Brazil or in the middle of the Sahara Desert. The most important thing that snakes do for all of us is that they have a big role when it comes to pest control. So most of the things that snakes eat are smaller animals that might get in our houses or spread any sort of types of disease. So snakes really do a good job at keeping those populations of some of those smaller animals that are sometimes considered pests at bay. So snakes, if they're hanging out in a place, you don't usually have to worry about rats. I always say if you've got a rat snake in your backyard, that's a good sign. It means that you're not going to have rats in your house. And I think a snake in your yard is better than rats in your house because a lot of mammals and things like that can share diseases with us, whereas snakes generally are not something that shares a lot of diseases with us because they're so distant from humans. True reptiles. True reptiles if you've ever heard the term cold-blooded before, we like the term ectothermic. It's a little bit more scientific, but it means about the same thing. It means ecto is outside. So what that means is that snakes have to kind of control their body temperature by whatever's happening outside. So a lot of our snakes, they don't come out unless it's about 65 to 70 degrees. That's the minimum temperature that they'll come out.
Yes.
Shout out
All
to the
right.
chat for sticking with us through some technical difficulties.
Thank you, chat.
It is the first time that we are doing this, and the zoo is really big, and we're 150 years old, so we're trying to figure out what parts of the zoo have great connectivity and which ones don't. So we walked through a little bit of a connection dead zone, but we're back, and I've got some friends joining me. They're on their way right now, and it's actually a super cool experience because not only do you get to meet one of our animal friends, you also get to meet some of our Wild Encounters frontline team that is out here educating the public every day. And we've got someone that's brand new to the team that's learning how to do this as well. So you get to be a part of that a little bit. So this is our friend Bunny. And Bunny has probably one of my favorite animals here at the zoo because it's one of the very few animals that I get to say is older than me. I think she's only older than me by a couple months. Yep, she was born in January 1993, and I was born in April 1993, so she's a little bit older than me. But Tether is a ball python. So this is a species of snake you might be familiar with, which is because they are common in the pet trade, but they actually do have wild counterparts, and Tether here is a great ambassador for her species of snake, both the wild counterparts and the ones that do end up as pets, because she is a great ambassador for teaching people about responsible pet ownership. And our friend Bunny has worked here at the zoo for quite a bit now, for about 2 years. 2.5 years. So she's been a member of our Wild Encounters team that whole time. So she has talked to hundreds of thousands of people in her career. I like to say that for the Wild Encounters team, if anyone asks what you do for a living, saying I talk to strangers is a really good way of describing your job.
Do you want to talk about being a responsible pet owner for snakes?
Sure, yeah. So it's very important with any animals that you ever get as a pet to always do a lot of research, particularly with snakes and other types of reptiles. They need a lot of very specific conditions in order to be successful. So for animals like ball pythons, they need a certain type of humidity, they need access to heat, they need access to places to hide and to climb, and they also need enough space that they're able to stretch out. So it's really important before you get an animal of any kind, whether it's a dog, cat, or something like a ball python, to do your research first and figure out what types of needs that they're going to have when you bring them home, and then also to make sure that you're always getting them from reputable sources. There are lots of different types of breeding and things that happen with snakes, so you want to make sure that you're always looking for reputable reputable places to get your pets from, to make sure that you are getting a healthy animal and that you're contributing to a healthy pet community. Pet community is a good word for it. It's also a little bit tricky to find veterinarians that work with some of our more exotic animals that might end up as pets. So make sure before you do bring home an animal like a snake or a lizard that you have looked into a type of vet that will see your pet, because although most snakes and things, especially animals like Tether that have lived almost 33 years, they're very healthy animals. There is always the chance that they need vet care, so it's important to know where and who you can take your animal to, as if you are a pet or a pet owner of an animal like a snake or a lizard. That's a huge part of being a responsible pet owner, is just knowing everything that it takes to take care of them, and also the realization that these animals live a very long time. Like I said, Tether was born in 1993. She still lives with us here at the zoo. If my mom doesn't even let me live at home anymore after almost 33 years. So it's important to know that sometimes these animals that you bring home will live a very, very long time, and it's important to kind of plan for that and make sure that you have the resources available to take care of them over a long term, and that the animal that you get when it's a tiny baby does grow up into a large animal, and they still need a lot of space and things like that. So Tether, when she was born, was probably about the size of a pencil, and now she is a pretty robust snake. So she needs a lot more space than she used to. So it's important to also be able to plan for that kind of thing as well. Um, but yeah, they are very neat animals. Ball pythons, I think, are one of the best ambassadors for those for the snake group, because it is an animal that it's pretty laid back as far as snakes goes. They, they're I think that they're cute. I think they have puppy dog cheeks. If you could look at Tether's kind of cheeks there, they have really big, wide cheeks. Their head is very wide at the base of it, so I think that looks almost like a puppy. They've got those really big, wide cheeks. Really cute little heat pits around their mouth that kind of give them like big floppy lips, almost like they're kind of like the Saint Bernard of snakes, if you think about it. But yeah, they have incredibly long lives. They live in Africa. They are predators. So they eat things like mice. That's another part of being a responsible pet owner is as long as you have to be comfortable with keeping mice in your freezer, and acquiring mice and rats for your pets. And sometimes if it's not a snake and you have a lizard of some sort, you might have to be comfortable with having roaches or crickets or other types of bugs in your house too. So food is definitely an important one, and being able to kind of have a steel stomach around that kind of stuff is important. Um, yeah, she will eat different types of rodents, so mice and rats, typically once every 2 weeks. Cool thing about that means that they don't go to the bathroom very often, but when they do, it usually all comes out at once, both pee and poop. It's kind of like a one-time affair. It's very weird looking. Sometimes they've used up all the hydration that they've gotten from that food, and their pee comes out as a solid. It's called a urate, which is almost like a powdery white yellow substance, which is just the waste. They've used everything else. Snakes' bodies are super efficient, so they really don't let anything go to waste. When they're eating the whole bodies of rodents and things like that, they're breaking down every piece of the body and using every part of it to fuel their bodies. And then when they do drink water, if they get that water from the animal that they're eating, they are using almost all of it. So they are not really letting anything go to waste. Because they don't want to. They want to be able to conserve their energy. Tether is very wide-bodied snake, which means that she has a lot of energy reserve. So if something were to happen to Tether, like I said with Arco, if you fall into a hole somewhere out in your native habitat and you can't find food for a while, you have to be able to sustain yourself. And a snake like Tether could easily go 6 months without eating anything at all, just using kind of that body fat reserve that she's got built up there.
Awesome. Can I pet?
Yeah, really gently on the back. Now you'll
No.
see Tether has a wildly different color pattern than our friend Arco that you met earlier. Tether is brown and black. That helps her blend in where she's from. So she lives in not an area with tropical flowers and all that cool stuff. So she has to blend in with different types of like leaf litter that's more closer to the colors that you would expect around here. Darker grasses, trees, tree limbs, things like that that have fallen. So she doesn't need that bright orange color to be able to blend in. And she is a python. So if you remember what I said earlier, pythons are generally old world animals, meaning from Asia and Africa. So she does fit into that. She is an African species, and they also, for the most part, do lay eggs. So she was hatched from an egg. We say birthday. What we really mean is hatch day. So we like to say happy hatch day around here when it comes to our ball pythons. And she's actually not even our oldest ball python. We have ball pythons that have lived longer than her. The oldest one I've ever seen in my life was about 30. I think she's about 38, Delaney, who was a longtime resident of the zoo here. So they do have extremely long life expectancies. In the wild, they might only live about 10 to 15 years because as a snake gets older, it does start to slow down a little bit, which makes it easier prey for predators. But here at the zoo, they don't have to worry about predators. They also live a relatively stress-free life. And if you ask your doctor, they'll tell you one of the best things you can do to ensure a long life for yourself is to try to cut back on stress. And the snakes here at the zoo have really proven that because they have almost always doubled their general life expectancy. And Tether is a true testament to that, being into her 30s now and still a very healthy animal and doing programs like this and eating and shedding and doing all the stuff that a nice healthy snake is supposed to be able to do.
Do you want to talk about maybe like conservation efforts? Is this like a SSP, or is there any sort of anyone that they work with?
Yeah. This is not a species that's an endangered that's considered an endangered species. However, we do work with a lot of organizations that work around areas where ball pythons and other species of snakes are native to help conserve the environment as a whole. So one of the organizations that we work with out in Africa is called Volpro, and their main focus is taking care of animals like vultures, which are a very endangered type of bird. But by doing so, by taking care of the environments and taking care of some of those other animals, by effect, it just helps out the animals like snakes there too. So they help out with reduction in habitat fragmentation and loss. That's generally the biggest issue when it comes to snakes. Is as humans start to develop new areas and we build roads and we move into spaces that were once homes for these animals, then they start getting closer to us because that's where their home was, and they will enter our houses and end up on our streets. And unfortunately, that is a lot of times how snakes do end up killed is through human animal conflict, whether that's through getting hit by a car or they end up in someone's house that uninvited. Sometimes if we utilize things like rodent poisoning, like rat poison, when they get out, the snake will eat them, and then the snake is then affected by the poison as well. So we work with some organizations, like I said, like Volpro. We work with a Uganda Waterways project to help ensure the health of the entire environment, which does help out the snakes as well. We are members of the AZA, which is Association of Zoos and Aquariums. We're accredited by them. It's a really big organization full of tons of zoos here in the U.S. and across the world, and we work closely with them for breeding programs of different species, especially endangered ones. And we also work with them when it comes to getting new ambassador snakes, like tether, or if we have any sort of new research or anything that we can share that can help the care of these snakes, we will share that with them. So there's not specifically an SS or SST, which is a species survival plan for
Mm,
uh, ball pythons, because they are doing well in their habitats. But it is important that we still take care of that habitat because, as we know, it can be a species can be doing really well and then all of a sudden it's not. So we do like to support some of those organizations that do help out the environment as a whole. I don't know that they've done a lot of censuses lately on ball pythons. I've not seen a recent census of wild ball python numbers. I know that sometimes, especially with snake species, they are hard to find, so it's difficult to get a true census because wild snakes, they are wild snakes and they're hiding from us, and they are they might be curled up into a crevice of a tree or in a rock crevice, so very, very difficult to count. And so I've not seen a true census on those guys. So I would hope that their populations are doing well, but it's one of those things that we don't really have a 100% answer on.
cool. Do you
One thing that
guys?
you can do for
Good.
snakes around here, though, if you do live in really anywhere in the U.S., I'm certain that you have native snakes of some sort. Maybe are there native snakes in Alaska? I don't. There's got to be something.
Probably.
There's got to be something. But anything that you can do to build a better home for wildlife in your backyard will help out your native snakes. So, like I said, the rat poison things. Try to find ways that if you do have pests, to do pest control that does not affect the environment. That's something that you want to do some research on. You could also do things like planting pollinator-friendly gardens. So if you have a nice garden with native plants in it, it will attract animals like hummingbirds and butterflies and things like snakes to make that their home because it's very similar to what their normal habitat would be. Um, like I said, don't kill snakes. Snakes are good. You want snakes in your houses, or not in your houses, but around your houses, because that keeps the pests out of your houses. So don't think of snakes as pests. They're the world's best pest control, and we want them to stay around so that we can keep out all those guys that do get in our house and do cause problems. So don't kill snakes. Just leave them be. If you see a snake outside, don't be scared. As long as you leave them alone, they want nothing to do with you. So you guys can just kind of pass each other. There's no threat to you. Just seeing a snake outside. Leave them
Awesome.
be.
Cool. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves and maybe say like what your favorite part about this department is and what you enjoy?
I'm gonna get close to you so you can hear.
My name's Bunny. I've been with the department for 2.5 years. This is definitely my most favorite part is the animal handling, taking the snakes and the armadillos and the turtles and lizards out. And just getting to educate people, especially like what Shay's been talking about. A lot of snakes have a bad stigma of like being really mean or pests or anything, and like just being able to change people's minds on that and like showing them like, hey, these guys are good for the environment and they're pretty cute too, honestly. Yeah, definitely my most favorite part.
Thanks, Bunny. And we've got some of our new pals over here. Who are you guys? I'm standing by you so you can use my microphone.
My name is Ivy. I've been here for around 2 months now, and my favorite part about working here is seeing the young children actively care about our animals and wildlife and seeing the light in their eyes spark up. That's my favorite part about it, and being able to actively make a change with the animals that do live here.
Cool.
Cool. Hello, my name is Genesis. This is my 4th day.
Woo!
So I'm really getting to
Fourth
know.
day.
Honestly, my favorite part so far is just getting to interact with guests and kind of children, like Ivy said, and just getting to educate them about the animals we bring out. So.
Amazing. Thank you, guys. Somebody in chat said, say hello to Fiona and Fritz.
On there, it's a member of the Wild Encounters team. So if you want to know more about Wild Encounters, you can ask them about that then. If you are looking to, one day work in a zoo or work around wildlife, the Wild Encounters team is a great place to start. If you are, finishing college and you have a biology degree or you're just trying to figure out what's next for you, we always encourage you to apply. We do a lot of our hiring in the springtime and then also throughout the year. But it's a great way to kind of get that first instance of the public education part and then also get a chance to interact with some of our live animals that live here at the zoo. So get your hands on some of our animal ambassadors, feed giraffes, watch kangaroos throughout the day, pet goats. There's all kinds of fun stuff that you get to do as part of your job here.
Sweet. All right.
Perfect.
Well, I think we can do a bit of a wrap up.
Cool.
Step on over this way,
Yeah.
I think. Having gimbal problems.
Oh no, not a gimbal problem.
Gimbal problems, chat. Let's see if we can fix it real quick.
The camera robot has got us now.
I'm gonna set. You can go back in here if you want. Just flip it. Set this down. All right. There we go. Cool.
Cool.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Is there any last thing that you want to say about your department or anything?
We're really cool. You've probably met us. If you've been to the Cincinnati Zoo, you've definitely met us before. We are kind of everywhere throughout the zoo. So our favorite thing is to do is share facts about our animals and share ways that you can help them. So we're all very friendly. If you ever see anybody out here and you want to talk animals with us, we will do that forever. That's our favorite thing. And this has been really fun. If you liked it, we want you to for sure tune in again.
Thanks for sticking through.
Yeah,
the tech.
thanks for sticking
We're
through with us.
going to continue to improve every stream. We're going to be back here on Friday. If you want to join us, we're going to be going checking out some birds, checking out the Wings of Wonder show that we have going on here. It's going to be their last show of the season, so we're going to go check them out. But thank you all for being here today. Again, if you guys are over here at the zoo, make sure you check out, walk around. You can always check is online or on our app. You can always see like where we're going to be. You guys are going to be kind of out talking.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you check out our app or our website, cincinnatizoo.org, you can see a list of all the different chats that are happening throughout the day. That's where all of our Wild Encounters team is. And then we have special animal encounters that are listed as well. So places like the Animal Flexibility Zone where we were with Arco. And over here in Mohali, you'll see that listed as the animal interaction area in Africa. Those typically run almost the whole day that the zoo's open. So stop by, see us, see what animal we have out, learn from us, and ask any questions that you might have.
Awesome. And if you guys want to check out the zoo, check out below in our About Us page. You can check out all of our panels. We have links to all different things on our website, so you can check us out, stay in the news. We just had a new baby gorilla born.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to keep up, learn all about that, you guys can go ahead and check out our website. You can find all the links in our bio. But thanks for joining us today, guys.
Bye.
And I will. Bye.
Bye again.
Gotta log back in.
We're in the Midwest, so we like to have a very long goodbye anyway, so it works out.
Yeah, do your round.
We call it a Midwest goodbye
Midwest
here.
Goodbyes.
Midwest goodbye. Bye for real now.